Good evening and welcome. I'm Kent DeLucinet. I'm the president of the board of directors of the Green Lake Association.
And I'm Stephanie Prelwitz, executive director of the Green Lake Association.
Welcome to our friends and to the community, to our members, to our donors, to our 12th annual gala, but importantly, the 70th anniversary of the Green Lake Association. We're so excited to be here this evening and be with all of you virtually. We'd hoped that we could be together with you in the Shoreline Boat Center and celebrating with a big party, but virtual is the next best, and we're happy to be here.
You know, Ken, every year it seems like that our gala gets better and better, and this year is no exception, especially when it comes to sponsorships. We have a record number of sponsors this year, including a new giving level. So in honor of our 70th anniversary, we created a $25,000 diamond level. Now I encourage you to look at the sponsors on your screen or check them out in your event program, but I want to take a couple moments to recognize our diamond and platinum sponsors. So Joe and Tina Prejant are diamond sponsors, as well as Kent and Lee DeLucinet. Thank you, Kent, for your support. Platinum sponsors at the $10,000 level are Mary Jane Bumby, Dave and Kathleen Cullen, Craig and Katie Culver, Mark and Janice Franzine, Steve and Karen Kennedy, Tom and Linda Klusterbor, Gary and Lynn Mecklenburg, Gary is a board member, as is Bill and Peggy Mulligan, Doug and Diane Oberhelman, Brad and Pam Price, and finally Jerry and Judy Specht. That's a lot of sponsors.
It's a lot of sponsors, exactly. And there are more scrolling on the screen as we speak, right? Well, I want to take a minute and just acknowledge the contributions made by Joe and Tina Prejant. We know Joe and Tina in the community. They've been real supporters of the Green Lake community, and we all appreciate that so much. This year, they created that new level, of the diamond level that Stephanie spoke of, and that had the effect of motivating a bunch of us to give more than we had in the past, and for some of us to give for the first time. So thank you to Joe and Tina for really setting the bar higher this year, our 70th anniversary.
And speaking of Joe Prejant, his grandfather, Elmer Prejant, was one of the founding members of the Green Lake Association, part of that initial group of proactive homeowners who came together out of a concern of Green Lake's water quality. And in the 70 years since our formation, our challenge and our knowledge has certainly evolved, but our focus remains the same: protecting, improving, and ultimately restoring Green Lake to the clean, healthy lake that it once was. So tonight we're going to be talking about the lake's challenges and what the Green Lake Association is doing about it. But I want to take a moment and celebrate this important chapter in the Green Lake Association's history, as well as all of the people who have been part of creating where we are today.
Stephanie, we've been doing this. This is our 5th year together.
It is.
And each year we've started the gala with a toast. So I'd like to propose that we do the same thing. But before I make the toast, I want to let those of you at home in on a little secret. One of us is drinking champagne, and one of us is drinking sparkling cider. You may know, but if you don't, Stephanie and Andy are expecting their second child, and we're all excited about that. Last year, you'll remember, we all got to see Charlotte walk us down to the pier and be part of the gala celebration last year. Well, I can tell you that if baby number 2 is anywhere near as cute as Charlotte, they've got a great family coming. So I would like to propose a toast that really acknowledges the fact that we're standing on the shoulders of the founders of the Green Lake Association. We're dependent on the volunteers and the members and the staff that have come in those ensuing years and maintained that commitment to the cleanliness and the protection of Green Lake. The staff, the board members, the volunteers, to all of them, this toast is recognized in a thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, Kent, you mentioned that this is our 12th gala, and it's been the galas and the Shine Light celebrations, and specifically the pillar projects that have helped us fund solutions on the lake. Now tonight, if you haven't given already, you're gonna have a chance to give to 4 buckets. The first is our Greatest Need Fund, and we'll talk about it more later, but this gives you a chance to allow us to be nimble in our response to the lake's challenges. If you'd prefer to restrict your gift, you can do so in terms of Project Clean Streams, Green Acres, and Invader Defense. Now, no matter how much you give and to what project, you can head to greenlakeassociation.org and click on the donate button. Or if you happen to have an event program with you, there's a giving envelope in the center.
Let's talk a little bit about what to expect in our time together this evening. We're going to watch some videos. We hope you'll find them instructive and entertaining. You'll get to hear from Stephanie and me in between those, and we hope that'll be tolerable at least. But at the conclusion of that, I'd like to invite all of us to walk down to the lake, take your lantern, take your sparklers, and by virtue of this Shine a Light celebration, reinforce your commitment to the cleanliness and the preservation of Green Lake. That's what this evening is all about. That's what the Green Lake Association is all about. If you purchased raffle tickets, then I would invite you to head to our live Facebook page for a drawing at 9:15.
Ken, the issues facing Green Lake are going to require a long-term approach, but we also want to be relevant to the issues of today. And I can think of no more relevant issue of today than duckweed on Green Lake. So stay tuned to hear what the Green Lake Association is doing about duckweed and why we need your support.
Green Lake. The Ho-Chunk people named it Taikora, combining two words in their native language. Tira, meaning lake, and Cho, meaning green, to describe the striking color of its emerald waters. Recently, Green Lake isn't green for its unforgettable hue, but from duckweed, a tiny floating plant that thrives in shallow, nutrient-rich waters. Sadly, what strikes you looking over its Silver Creek estuary today is a growing mat of green. And while duckweed grows there, it doesn't always stay there, especially after rainstorms push duckweed islands into Green Lake, where piles of it accumulate on shore and cause all sorts of navigation and safety issues. For all its challenges, duckweed is a native plant, so the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources currently prevents its removal from Green Lake. Any efforts to mitigate duckweed will require specialized technology and a DNR harvesting exemption that currently doesn't exist. The Green Lake Association is working to change that. Recently, we formed a duckweed mitigation task force with the Green Lake Sanitary District to develop a strategy to alleviate the lake's duckweed challenges. We're investigating potential technology borrowed from the fields of oil spills and microplastics. Our efforts are aimed at reducing duckweed's massive footprint in the Silver Creek estuary and preventing it from floating into Green Lake. Because this will require a novel solution, we're launching a Duckweed Mitigation Incubator Fund for seed money to launch a pilot project to present to the DNR as part of a duckweed management appeal. We imagine a day when duckweed doesn't muck up swimming, ruin boat trips, or clog shorelines. In short, our vision of Green Lake is far less green. Of course, our Project Invader defense efforts extend far beyond hues. Your support is driving activities to improve lake health on a significant level. We are able to staff boat launches, better equip landings with aquatic invasive species removal tools, and with the help of our partners, harvest invasive carp from Green Lake's County Highway K marsh. These efforts are critical because, once invasive species are introduced into a lake, they become difficult to manage and are often impossible to ever remove completely. The best way to protect Green Lake from invasive species is to prevent them from getting into the lake in the first place. To that end, every day we protect Green Lake matters. Your support makes a difference, so please donate today.
Stephanie, you know, I've had the opportunity to sit in on some of those duckweed task force meetings, and I have to tell you, I'm so impressed with the ingenuity and the dedication and the hard work that's going in by that team to really surface solutions for this duckweed issue.
We're looking across the globe to identify technology, success stories, and potential solutions so that we can address our duckweed challenge right here in Green Lake. Now, in addition to GLA board member, volunteer extraordinaire, and silver sponsor Dick Martins, as well as Lisa Reese of the Green Lake Sanitary District, I want to take a moment to especially thank the efforts of Jim Trubshaw as well as Jerry Specht. Now, both of them have been putting in significant time and research to move us leaps and bounds closer on identifying a potential duckweed solution here on Green Lake.
Not only are they committed volunteers on this project, but Jerry and Judy Specht, for example, are platinum sponsors. They've been major contributors to the Green Lake Association for years, and Jerry's the chair of the sanitary district, one of our most significant partners. So Jerry and Judy are real contributors. And Jim and Jean Ellen Trubshaw are bronze sponsors this year for the first time, and Jim has jumped into this committee, and the two of them, Jim and Jerry, are great examples of the volunteers and the members that are generous with their time and their energy and their financial resources. And that's all so important to our success.
Yeah, I think we should take a minute to acknowledge all of our volunteers, partners, and board members for the outstanding work. It really takes a lot of time and people power to fuel the work of the Green Lake Association. We wouldn't be the same without them.
You know, Stephanie, our stream restoration efforts really are part of the Project Clean Streams that really rely on the generosity of our donors, because this is an expensive proposition. We have over $1 million of streams that need to be restored in our watershed, and it's critical that we get to those. So the generosity of the donors is critical. It's expensive work. The partners, in addition to the donors' generosity, the importance of our partners, the Green Lake Sanitary District, the Green Lake County Land Conservation Department, they're really the team that makes sure that these projects get implemented. So it's a network of donors and members and volunteers and our partner organizations that allow us to get this done.
Next up, we're going to hear about where the Green Lake Association is prioritizing stream restoration right here in the Green Lake Watershed. But first, I want to remind you that if this type of work is important to you, please be sure to donate at greenlakeassociation.org and click on the donate button, or use the envelope in the center of your event program.
Those of you who saw our virtual annual meeting in June will recall that we talked about the Dakin Creek project that we completed this year, and that Bring Back the Brookies that was important for restoring Green Lake and restoring it to a trout stream. We've done significant work on Roy Creek that we talked about. The upcoming video that you're going to see is going to really highlight the work that needs to be done in the County K Marsh, which is just down the shore from us tonight. So stay tuned for this next video, which I think you'll find interesting.
Green Lake is the heart of this community, and the 140 miles of streams that flow to it are arteries and veins contributing to its health. Healthier streams support a healthier lake, but eroded streams only make Green Lake's water quality worse. More recent intense storms are straining these natural resources beyond what their banks can handle. A 500-year rain event in 2008 caused over 10 miles of damage, creating a domino effect where every major storm since then creates more sections of crumbling stream bank, resulting in more phosphorus and sediment pollution making its way into our incredible lake. At a time when we are attempting to reduce phosphorus loading into Green Lake to improve its water quality, we cannot just stand by as the streams themselves turn into pollution sources. Project Clean Streams funds stream restoration to ensure that the water flowing into Green Lake is as clean as it can possibly be. We've invested in several prioritization tools to ensure we're repairing the most egregious stream sections first. One area in particular need of attention is the County Highway K Marsh, our second highest phosphorus pollution source, fed by Roy, Watershed, and Spring Creeks. While the Green Lake Association and our partners have spearheaded a decade of restoration attempts in the County Highway K Marsh, a plume of phosphorus-loaded sediment is still visible from above. It's time we look above the County Highway K Marsh and clean up the creeks that flow to it. Critical repairs will widen the banks in problem areas, so runoff can safely and temporarily expand into the floodplain to prevent future erosion. New buffers will line the banks with deep-rooted plants to add extra protection. The cost of restoring just the problem areas we've previously identified is over $1 million. Your support of Project Clean Streams will help us achieve our goal of repairing every foot of stream bank that flows to Green Lake, improving the health of our entire ecosystem, and protecting the lake at the heart of it all.
You know, Stephanie, every time I see that aerial shot of that chocolate milk-covered, phosphorus-loaded sediment that comes out of the County K Marsh into the lake, I can't help but think that we need to do more sooner. Time's not our friend now. Right? With more frequent and severe rainstorms, we have to do more faster.
And it's not just sediment and phosphorus. This year, the Green Lake Sanitary District identified a blue-green algae bloom in the County Highway K marsh. And blue-green algae can be harmful to humans and pets, so it's something we have to take seriously. And we don't have any indication that that blue-green algae has made its way into Green Lake, but this demonstrates to me that the warning signs that we're talking about. And it's more than any other location in our watershed, it's the County Highway K marsh that contributes a disproportionate amount of phosphorus to Green Lake. So we need to act now, and we need to act there.
While the GLA and our partners are working on restoring the County K marsh, it's important that we also take a broad view of the watershed. We have to have an impact across the entire drainage area, and we need to do that quickly. We've been doing the right practices, we're doing the right thing, but the declining water quality is an indicator that we've got to move quickly to address the watershed in its entirety.
Right, we need to scale up our work, not just on stream restoration, but also thinking beyond the perimeter of the marsh to that entire watershed. And that will require us working with our agricultural neighbors. Now, it might seem counterintuitive that a lake association is working with farmers, but the fact of the matter is that the quality of our lake is directly connected to the quality of our land.
But developing a positive relationship with the ag community has been one of our goals for a long time. I feel like we're making progress there, Stephanie, and we've gotten very good guidance from two farmers that are on our board of directors, Jim Hebby and Matt Borson. They've really helped us city slickers understand what's important to the ag community and how farmers look at their farming practices. So that's been very helpful. We also sponsor a demonstration farm that Stephanie will tell you about. We award grazing and soil preservation scholarships to future farmers, so we're pulling in the younger community, and we co-host an annual field day that Stephanie will talk about.
This year's field day, in fact, is on Saturday, August 21st at Avalon Creek Farm, so don't forget to mark your calendars, and we hope to see you there. And what you'll learn at this field day is we're doing great work, but we need to be doing more of it, quite simply. We're asking farmers to change their land practices and be more lake friendly. And so the GLA needs to be there as a good neighbor to share the economic risk during that learning curve.
So learn more about where the GLA is headed in terms of our watershed initiative and our work with the agriculture community in this next video. If supporting the ag community and this project Green Acres is of interest to you, you can donate for that pillar project by going to greenlakeassociation.org and hit the donate button.
Good neighbors, together, build better water quality. We know caring for Green Lake extends beyond its shoreline perimeter to the entire 107 square mile area that drains to it. We cannot manage that alone. It requires extending a hand and open communication with our neighbors. The Green Lake Association has worked hard to do exactly that with our agricultural neighbors, since those acres make up 65% of our watershed. To support a healthy Green Lake, the farm fields that drain to it need to be as green as they can be, always covered in a blanket of cover crops that work year-round to prevent erosion and phosphorus pollution from flowing downstream. During rainstorms, tilled or intensively cropped fields are more susceptible to washing phosphorus-loaded sediment, manure, and excess fertilizer. And though cover crops are a best practice at lowering the footprint of farming, they come with a learning curve and require expensive equipment. We completed a recent survey and found that the cost and access to equipment were the greatest limiting factors to establishing more acres of lake-friendly cover crops in our watershed. This year, we aim to purchase and provide free access to specialized equipment to eliminate the barriers farmers face when experimenting with cover crops. Our goal is to reduce the risk while helping farmers see, firsthand, the soil health and runoff benefits in their own fields. Good neighbors can, indeed, work together to mutual benefit. We could not be more excited by the fruits these strong relationships will bear. A cleaner lake is within our grasp. Your support of the Green Acres Fund increases the adoption of lake-friendly agricultural practices and helps ensure farmers will have the resources and knowledge they need to be environmental stewards. By donating to the Green Acres Fund, you're directly contributing to the establishment of on-the-ground conservation practices that are good for the lake.
I'm really excited when I see that video about the partnership that the GLA has with the ag community, and that we can play a role in sponsoring on-the-ground equipment to support our agricultural neighbors and promote more lake-friendly farming practices. And as great as our challenge is, Kent, I think it's important to recognize the impactful work being done by so many in our watershed.
Well, you know, Stephanie, we've been talking a lot tonight. At the annual meeting, we talked a lot about the challenges the lake is facing and the hard work that's ahead of us. But I think it's important that we recognize the good work is going on right now. And we want to take some time this evening to give recognition to those who've made a particular contribution to the health and welfare of Green Lake. So that's what these Watershed Awards will accomplish. 3 awards will be given tonight. I think you'll do that next.
I will.
In the categories of an organization, an individual, and a farmer.
That's right. This year's Organization Watershed Hero Award goes to the Green Lake Sanitary District. Now, the statutory responsibilities of the Green Lake Sanitary District is to manage sewer and waste and nothing more. But the Green Lake Sanitary District steps up as a model of lake-friendly practices. They run the weed harvester and best management practice funding, and they even do lake trout stocking. They are a model in the state of Wisconsin for how sanitary districts can step up and protect the water resources around them. The individual that we want to recognize this year for our Watershed Hero Award is Mary Jane Bumby. Now, Mary Jane is one of the longest serving citizen scientists in the state of Wisconsin. And at 90 years old, Kent, I still get emails every week, every other week from Mary Jane Bumby with her latest data. Now, we're honoring Mary Jane this year because 100 years ago, a seminal study was done on Green Lake about our aquatic plant community. And then 50 years ago, Mary Jane completed her master's thesis, repeating that study. And 100 years later, on our 70th anniversary, we're repeating that study once again to understand the changes in Green Lake's plant community. I also want to acknowledge that Mary Jane is a gold sponsor for this year's gala. And finally, this year's Watershed Hero Award to farmer goes to Pollock View Dairy. Our demonstration farm in the watershed happens at Pollock View Dairy, and Chris Pollock has been an amazing leader in our community, trying innovative agricultural practices that will benefit Green Lake. He's trying things like low disturbance manure injection, grazing cover crops, interseeding cover crops. Every day is different, and for a multi-generational farmer, Chris has shown that he's willing to learn, experiment, and share his success.
He's been a real example.
He sure has.
And I think we've got some other folks that have set an example. I'd like to call your attention, Stephanie, to Mike and Jill Havey. They're gold sponsors this year, but not just this year. Jill and Mike had a vision for what the galas could become 12 years ago. They were one of the founding sponsors of the gala, and they have sponsored every year since then. Mike and Jill are real contributors to the Green Lake community. They've been strong supporters of the GLA, and they're setting an example for all of us to live up to. Brad and Pam Price are platinum sponsors this year, but they're Green Lake newcomers. So this is their first year of sponsoring, and we so appreciate their commitment to the GLA. We have so many new families around the lake that we're anxious to get all of them involved in, knowledgeable about, and supporting our efforts at the GLA. So if you have neighbors that have moved into the community, please encourage them to participate and join in the Green Lake Association.
These Watershed Hero Award recipients, as well as these donor stories, remind us that the Green Lake Association is about families, it's about communities, and it's about legacy. We want to make an impact to ensure that not only can we enjoy Green Lake today, but for the next generation.
Dear Green Lake, throughout it all, you've been there for me. For my first swim, first dive. Well, sort of. The happiest childhood anyone could ever ask for. My first kiss. My graduation. My wedding day. And so much joy. For my entire life, you've been there for the significant and the everyday moments. I am beginning to realize that I haven't always been there for you. You aren't the same lake you used to be. The one I knew from my childhood. Zebra mussels have colonized your shorelines. And filamentous algae obscure the clear water that we once considered so familiar. We can no longer expect to swim in your water or turn on the kitchen faucet without considering our health and safety. I'm beginning to understand that you are in trouble. When I was a child, I rarely heard the words phosphorus, E. coli, duckweed mats, or blue-green algae. I wish I would have listened to you more. Watched you more closely, been more involved, or done more sooner. Of course, we can't change the past. So now it is the time to take a hard look at the world we're creating and act on your behalf. I want to do my own part, but most importantly, get at the roots of these issues to support meaningful change across the entire watershed. Green Lake, thank you for everything you have provided my community. You can expect to hear more soon. Always for Green Lake. Jane.
Kent, I think that the sentiments that we just heard connect with many of us. We love the lake, we value the lake, but at the same time we're seeing concerning warning signs that make us wish we would have done more sooner. In fact, this year we're getting a record number of calls from concerned GLA donors, from Green Lake visitors, and general community members with real concerns about the safety of Green Lake, because it's so clear that the water quality is noticeably declining.
I think we all understand the concern, Stephanie. Green Lake is showing us warning signals that we've got to get out in front of, right? In the past 2 years alone, we've had beach advisories regarding E. coli, we've had swimmer's itch, we've had blue-green algae in the County K marsh. Now, as you say, fortunately, that's not getting into the lake, but it's worrying that we've had this duckweed epidemic that we've all suffered from. So Green Lake quality is at risk, and we have to respond to that.
That's right. And that's not just our community members telling us that, or the Green Lake Association believing it, but we have researchers telling us the same thing. The Green Lake Association just wrapped up a lake study with Michigan Technological University and the U.S. Geological Survey. And Kent, as you know, we learned that Green Lake needs a 50% phosphorus reduction just to hit baseline water quality goals. The pillar projects that we've talked about tonight are necessary and the best management practices, but at this point, in and of themselves, are likely insufficient and won't get us to that 50% reduction mark. So we'll likely need to use some type of innovative technology to reach that goal, because we don't have infinite time to save the lake. And so contributions to the Greatest Need Fund will allow us to explore technology that we aren't even aware of, because we can't always predict what's next or the solutions that may be out there.
You know, Stephanie, I feel like our donors understand the complexity of the issue and the commitment required. They understand the work that the GLA is doing, it's important, and they're stepping up. In the past, the most we've ever raised from a gala is $250,000. Nothing to sneeze at. We're very proud of that. But I want to just let you all know that as of this morning, we have raised over $300,000 with this gala. And I think that's a recognition of the complexity of the task ahead of us, but also a recognition that the GLA is a good steward of our donors' funds. Our 70th year gives us continuity and credibility to do the kind of work that we need to do.
That's absolutely incredible. And so to all of you out there, we want to thank you so much for your support, because we couldn't do it without you. We also have to recognize, though, that the need is great, and we feel a sense of urgency to substantially scale up and accelerate our efforts on behalf of Green Lake. We don't want to chart a course towards a lake that we don't want and we can't undo. I often think about Lake Winnebago or the Madison Lakes, where beaches are closed and you can't go in the water, as an example of what we don't want to become. Because the truth is that there are no guarantees that the lake that we know today will be the lake that we pass on to the next generation.
We've already seen tonight, Stephanie, an outstanding outpouring from our members, who are very generous in terms of their support for us. But we really value the support of all of our members. Last year, 85% of our donors gave $250 or less. So we want every member, every donor to feel like their contribution is important to us, because it is. So give to our Greatest Need Fund, or to any of the funds that we've talked about tonight. Your support is so important to us.
You can donate at greenlakeassociation.org and click the donate button, or use the envelope in your program to do that.
I hope we've been able to show you tonight the challenges that Green Lake is facing, the work that the Green Lake Association and our partners are doing to address those challenges, and our gratitude to all of you for being with us tonight, for the support you've shown the GLA over 70 years, for the commitment you're making to the struggle we're all facing to preserve and protect and ultimately restore Green Lake. Thank you for being part of the evening with us. It's been a great deal to have you here.
If you need one more reminder, you can give tonight at greenlakeassociation.org and click that donate button, or use the envelope in your program. And Kent, we still have a little bit of fun tonight. So there's there's the raffle pull at 9:15.
But do we have any sparklers and lights to work?
Well, that as well. But be sure at 9:15 to head to Facebook Live. If you purchased any raffle tickets, we'll be drawing those, including the grand prize winners for trip to Belize.
Thank you all for being part of our 70th anniversary celebration. Thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you. So Stephanie, how do you reflect on 70 years of the GLA?
Yeah, I think a lot about Charlotte, how I want to leave this place, this lake, cleaner than how I found it. So that in 70 years from now, it's different, it's better.
Better, yeah. I hear the stories of the folks who've been here for generations, who've grown up on this lake, and how it's changed, and not in a good way, since their childhood. And I think our goal is to restore it to what they remember as a childhood lake, which was really in so much better condition than it is now. So is that your wish?
That's my wish, to Green Lake.
And mine as well. Cheers.
Cheers.
My wish for Green Lake is that 70 years from now, we don't have any more invasive species present, and that the water is cleaner and healthier than it is today.
My wish for Green Lake is for the community to keep getting tighter and tighter, and for everyone that comes here to keep smiling every day that they come.
We've been here since 1995. We feel Green Lake is a very beautiful place, a very special place. Our hope for the future is that the water stays clean.
My wish for Green Lake is it stays healthy and clean.
Happy 70th birthday to you. Happy 70th birthday to you. Happy 70th birthday, dear GLA. Happy 70th birthday to you. Thanks everyone for all you do to help our lake.
Our hope for Green Lake is to rally around regenerative agriculture and help connect farmers with the financial resources they need to save the beautiful ecosystem that is Green Lake.
My hope for Green Lake is that everyone will continue to support the community and support the ecosystem by helping the natural inhabitants.
I wish for the lakes to be cleaned up a bit from either trash or muck or whatever that does not belong.
My wish is that in 70 years, every household in the Green Lake Watershed will have equal access to clean drinking water.
Happy birthday, Green Lake Association.
It's awesome. 70 years, that's a long time.
As the GLA celebrates its 70th anniversary, my wish is that this community will care enough about Green Lake and its health to take action and protect it.
So we hope in 70 years that our grandchildren and grandchildren's children are enjoying the lake the same way we've been able to enjoy.
So Stephanie, I think it's been a great evening, and let's go for a ride on this lake that we care about so much.
I think that's a great idea. Let's
Okay.
do it.